Ladies and gentlemen, the Pro 1-2, racing for 75 minutes, top 15 guys splitting out the money. Gentlemen, I've got one merchandise, which is a camera that goes on the back of your bicycle. Gentlemen, on the official's whistle, have a great race in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, so we got the Pro Am Day 2 on Saturday. This is the Pro 1-2 race. And just kind of going through the first lap here. And I've kind of edited this video down to 17 minutes or so, something like that. But basically the first, I don't know, maybe 12 minutes, it was all kind of together and just kind of random attacks and so forth. And then basically the winning move kind of got away there, and then basically I just cut out the whole middle section of, from riding around with the group and then start back up at 5 laps to go. But anyway, kind of first lap, we're just rolling around. Pretty awesome day for racing, temperature wise and everything. Just, felt like it seemed like we've had pretty rainy weekends every weekend, all the way, 3 or 4 back as far as I can remember. So we had pretty awesome weather. Anyway, there's a few places on the course. There's a few holes, back there on the back stretch. And, this section here, last year there was a lot of construction here, so it's kind of weird. But, yeah, it's pretty nice, pretty wide open. There's a few little spots if you took the corners wide that would kind of jump out at you. But anyway, just kind of fast forwarded here about 5 minutes maybe or so. We're probably on our third lap, maybe going into this point. So it's been pretty active. Generally this, I think that's Evan that's took off there up the road. But it's basically, these races are usually either fast or real fast, and anytime it slows down a little bit where it's just kind of fast, and there's it never fails, there's going to be guys attacking. So if you're in a position, you can go with it, or just be ready to go with, jump on a wheel who's somebody that's going with it, or you'll find yourself towards the back pretty quick. So yeah, just kind of jumping on here, and it's normally you can tell when we're hauling if you see the guy in front of you's pedaling a lot and it's single file, so a pretty good idea that they're going pretty good right now. So yeah, this course is really pretty fun. I like the kind of the figure 8 type courses where you got basically the corner before and after the actual figure 8 part. It's kind of fun because it seems like you're always coming out of one turn and you're already setting up for the next turn. So it's you're always kind of using a lot of the road, it seems like. But yeah, there's a few spots that I don't know, kind of seemed like they were, for most of the race, were pretty easy to move up quite a bit, if things slow down just a little. Yeah, you can see it's, getting into points where it starts to slow down, but yeah, looks like we're still doing pretty good here. But those sections, those kind of islands of curbs, you had to kind of watch those. Last year they would kind of jump out at you. I think that's one of the ones that Travis hit, and got some good pictures of him hitting that lady. Yeah, anyway, so we're going along here, and I think there's a part coming up here where like right now you can kind of tell it's it starts slowing down a little, and you start seeing guys coming up around, making their way up to the front or whatever. Anytime it starts to go, not single file, if you're not super winded, that's the time to move up, try to get some spots. But it looks like I'm almost losing spots here instead of trying to move up. yeah, it looks like it's getting pretty active. There's some attacks and stuff going on. Pretty self-explanatory. It's just kind of, there's a little move up the road there, so it's generally, that's how they go. Just attack, kind of stabilize. Stuff gets caught. As soon as it slows down just a little, another one goes off. So, yeah, it's pretty fast, pretty hard. I guess it depends on your fitness level too. There's some guys probably thought this was not a super fast race. Guys that can basically keep attacking over and over and recover pretty quick. They're definitely at a different fitness level than me. I could really had to pick and choose all my efforts, because it's a little too much extra in that. Trying to recover enough to get back up to speed. You have to accelerate anytime you burn a lot of matches. Yeah, I think we averaged 20. I averaged over 28, so it's pretty fast race. So yeah, this is, I think, kind of coming right up in here is looks like we're about to catch Evan there, so it's about to be all back together. Yeah, I think right in I don't know if it was a preem lap, the lap before, or it may be this one that's coming up. Yeah, looks like there's some tacks going off in Waddell's. Usually you see guys holding their arm up like that. They want their teammates to get up there and help. So it looks like there's some pretty semi-dangerous group of guys kind of drifting away there at the front. So, but yeah, coming up, I remember this part now. I was kind of got in there behind Chris Carlson, and a big guy that you can get a pretty good draft off of. So these guys are killing it to get to that front little group, and then right as we caught the start-finish line here, they rang the bell for a preem lap, and so well, these guys are getting me up there. I think maybe I'll try to go for this, and so this is kind of one of the moves. Just this is kind of a pre-move that started the initial, I guess, the winning break basically. So these guys take off. So Dylan signaling right there for some help, but I was passing him right as he was raising his arm. But yeah, I burned a pretty good match right here. These guys are hauling pretty good. So we're basically going for this cream, and so I don't know. It's slowed down a little bit right here when I caught him, and then Skylar Mackey there, he kind of took off, and can't really tell here, but me and Chris Carlson kind of locked elbows and almost went down for a second. But came around here, and I thought about drag racing him for it, but I was actually getting somewhat winded, and it was like if I that was kind of would have been maybe a bigger preem, maybe $100. I probably would have gone for it, but then I would have basically been done. So I just kind of sat up and let him have it. And at this point, there's a pretty big gap between behind me and the rest of the field. So I was like, well, this could be a good the winning break possibly here if we keep this rolling, maybe. So, or a good break to be in for sure. So they sat up, so sure enough, the field caught us pretty quick, and then there's attacks going off, and that's essentially it right there. That's where the winning break basically started. Of course, I couldn't really, personally get up in there and start going because I was pretty winded. But yeah, what you kind of see around this next corner, there's a group of 12 guys that got away, and eventually 6 of them survived and ended up lapping the field. But it happens pretty quick, just like that. If you're not up in a position and have the ability to go hard for 30 seconds or a minute or so, you're going to be one of the guy's getting lapped, 30, 45 minutes later. So anyway, this is the last start of the last 5 laps to go, and basic situation is that we've been lapped by 6 guys, and they just kind of merged into the field. So there was a couple, Evan and one of the Guatemalan brothers, I think, maybe both of them, and then I think Elevate, and I think Skylar was in there, Chad Cagle from Wheelman, and maybe another couple guys, I can't remember who exactly, but anyway, we're still sprinting for 7th, so just trying to get in the money if at all possible. So had a pretty decent, was in pretty decent position here. I was just kind of trying to hold my position, and that honestly would have been a good place to just sit, get in behind the wheelman, and they're going to have 2 or 3 guys up in the main money spots, so that would have been a good spot. But I kind of got a little greedy here and tried to move up a little further. I wanted to get more closer towards the front of the race, but ended up just getting undercut here or there or something, and lost several spots. But it's just kind of how it goes. You just gotta work it up when you can, I guess. But so yeah, it's definitely as it gets into the last few 3 or 4 laps to go. I guess we're coming up. We've got laps, we're about to be on 3 laps to go. As it gradually gets lower, it gets just gradually faster and more aggressive. So yeah, it's pretty just self-explanatory at this point. Just trying to maintain position and stuff, stay out of the wind, and I kind of was trying to be patient and not take off too many big chunks right here, so I could have a good, the last lap would be really fast, and it was. But it's really, I think looking at this, I don't know how tired I was right at this time, but I should have been working, trying to get more positions when I could, if at all possible. Maybe burn a match or 2 to make up 5 or 6 spots, just to try to recover and settle back in. But I think I was just being more conservative, and you can't wait too long. Once you get down to it's below 2 laps to go, then usually at that point it's too late. So we're just taking 3 laps to go, and I'm not really maybe losing a spot or so a lap, but should be gaining 2 or 3 if I wanted to finish up around the top 10 or so. So yeah, that was 3 laps to go, and these laps, it's New Holland, and it's such a short course, they clicks off pretty quick. So yeah, that's rolling along. It's not single file, so it's would have been a good opportunity right there, to jump up. Hole right there, it kind of got me right there, not too bad, but I broke a wheel out here a couple of years ago, hitting one of those, hit a hole coming out of one of those corners, just didn't see it, just right behind somebody, and took a weird line and broke one of my zip wheels. So you gotta watch those potholes sometimes, and make a mental note, early on where they're at, and try to avoid them, and definitely tear up your equipment. So yeah, I think we're on 2 to go, a little under 2 to go now, and so I'm kind of getting a little desperate, but it's, at this point the speed's picking up, and really it's hard to do much more than just maintain your position at this point. So kind of just waited a little too long. I don't know, unless you were, I'm sure some of the guys that have some super fitness could have, you know, easily moved up more so here, but you know, this is the point where we're probably doing close to, you know, probably 28, 30 mile an hour at least laps, so it's, you can't just jump out of the wind and expect to pass a bunch of guys and still have a lot of gas left. So you're kind of just, you know, at the mercy of, you can either jump on somebody that's moving up really quick or whatever. So yeah, I think that's bell lap, and you know, it's really winding up now. So kind of kept getting caught behind a few guys, like that guy. He kind of blew up, and then, you know, so now it's really getting kind of, you know, just covering gaps. So almost hit that hay bale right there. Yeah, so just burning matches left and right here, just trying to stay connected, because, you know, guys are dropping off, and you know, there's several guys that were probably working the lead out for their teammates. They start dropping off, so you're having to go around them, and yeah, that was pretty much that. I think I ended up 17th, which, you know, honestly I thought I was back, you know, probably in the 20s or so. So it's only a couple spots out of the money, which if in hindsight, if I could rewind this and do it again, I would have definitely been more aggressive. You know, maybe 3 or 4 to go, but yeah, that was it. Pretty fun race, fun weekend overall. You know, Tulsa Cup's coming up, so yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and hope y'all get some Tulsa Cup footage. So yeah.